Hi everyone, it's Beatty from RaveTalks. Today on RaveTalks with Artists, I have the exciting pleasure to introduce someone special to the zine. You are
Lizzy Jane.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here. I'm really glad we get to sit down and talk.
Yes, me too. So, what is currently inspiring your melodic electro style in your latest work?
I definitely had like a point, and it was kind of post-COVID, where I wanted to bring back like my roots of being in a band and being around live instruments, and dubstep is not necessarily super conducive to just like my raspy singer-songwriter voice, and I wanted to find like a middle ground to keep the bass influences, still be able to play like that melodic bass heavy root and throw some bass music in there, drum and bass, stuff like that, but have like a better alleyway for me to sing and create like these song like storytelling journeys throughout my set. And I found myself like again kind of in that Ophelia Lost in Dreams, you know, Seven Lions meets like maybe a little bit of drum and bass meets Griffin, and I love like the direction that it's going, and I'm just writing stuff that makes me like happy and feels authentic. So, and I feel like it connects with like the people who have supported me like forever, and a lot of people who have like followed the journey have loved not necessarily like the reinvention, but just the growth of the project. It's like you look outside of like, you know, electronic dance music, and a lot of times artists are really placed in these like genre pocketed holes, but in like the pop world and in rock music, people reinvent themselves all the time. Yeah,
there's a lot of transcending and stuff. I completely agree with that. Well, and it's such a unique sound, and it's beautiful. The one song that you most recently came out with, Heartbreak, amazing single, and if you guys have not heard it yet, you have to check it out. How did you get that whole piece together, from like the vocals, instrumentals, all of it?
So a lot of like my creative process, it's always a little bit different, but I've been really into like synth work and like modular synthesis stuff. So I have started really messing around with starting with like organic instruments, like just whether it's a MIDI keyboard or it's guitar or it's a bass. And I wrote the beginning verse, and it's kind of before it goes into being more of like an electronic song. When I wrote this, I was just like, this is out there, but I'm just gonna do it. Like, we're just gonna put it out, and then I'll make a VIP. I have a VIP coming out for it in January that's like club, Jersey club, dancing, a little bit of like hyper pop influences, more trappier stuff that's like perfect to play at a club show, you know, not necessarily a festival. And a big goal of mine, especially leading up to the EP, was just being more prevalent with my background in playing instruments. I love like guitar, bass, piano. Like, that's my childhood and where I've come from. So especially like the beginning of the journey of the Lizzy Jane project was very much so bass orientated. I'm a metalhead. I come from being in an alternative post-hardcore band, and when we went into COVID, it was like, how can we combine everything? And now I finally start to feel like it's like flowing very effortlessly, and it's definitely a unique sound. It's not for everybody, but I'd rather have 10 people really fuck with me than me try to please everybody, because then it's just not going to make anyone happy.
Totally. You'd rather have it be you and your sound, and that's what people are loving, versus something that you're doing for others.
Yes.
It's always for what makes you happy is what makes everybody else happy. I fully believe that. And being one of the few female acts to perform at major festivals like Insomniac's Countdown, what is some advice you'd wish to share about that journey and process?
Ooh, lots of it. Stuff I probably shouldn't say as well. But, you know, it's crazy because I know so many incredibly talented women on the front side and the back side of the industry now. You know, people doing production, TMing, labels, agencies, and then just like you have Girl Gang, and I have these Discord groups of like Femme House with LPGOB. Like, there's these pockets that it's like, to me, to hear you're one of the only women on the lineup is kind of crazy, because I know like 50 girls who are just killing it like in their own right. And I think it's kind of maneuvering a way to where you can find your authentic self, because it's really easy to just get lost. And honing your craft. Like, try it when you start to get like a little bit of like momentum, like everybody pushes off the momentum, when especially now in the world of like TikTok and reels, and you know, it's the numbers. When the numbers are there, then we're gonna push you. Well, the numbers don't equate to ticket sales, and they don't equate to real fans, and it's like just taking it as slow as possible, and like realizing like the house you're building is like, do you want it to be of straw, do you want it to be of bricks, like how long is your kind of goal to be here? And I know that definition of success to everybody can be very different. There's people that I've seen that rise up incredibly quick, they do it and they do it well, and then they move on to the next one, and it's like, it's very like goal orientated things to each individual. But most people, when they sacrifice so much and like it's such a passion for all of these artists, you don't want to disappear. You don't, you know, and it's finding that authenticity and the thing that like works for you. And I just think taking it slower than faster is going to amount in you maybe being open to opportunities that weren't in the plan. I think when everybody like when everybody starts like their journey, they have a very idealized way of things that are going to happen. Like, I'm going to sign with Disciple, and then I'm going to get on an agency, and then I'm going to tour with this person, and then I'm going to end up here. Very rarely happens that way. Very rarely. And I think being open to different opportunities that may not have been in your plan but will get you to the same destination, it's worth it.
That's really true. It's definitely about trusting the process is really what you're saying, because
enjoying the journey too.
And because it rarely goes exactly like what you said as planned, and sometimes that's difficult. Like, it's really hard.
It's difficult. There's a lot of no's there, especially if you're, I think, doing stuff that's unique and a bit different than you know what's popping. And I've talked to so many and what's going now. It's like now it's like hard dance and techno and drum and bass, and tomorrow it'll be dubstep, and then maybe 5 years from now tech house will come up again, and if you're just chasing trends, by the time that trend is popping and the time you like hone that craft to make that subgenre, it's going to be on to the next. So like, you might as well do what you really enjoy and like find your people, because you just trying to chase all these different things, it very rarely leaves anybody happy.
That's very true. Oh, well, having the chance to share such a unique and personal performance for friends, family, and fans, what emotions come to you each time you perform?
Definitely Red Rocks this year was super special to me. I had my grandparents there. Like, that was something. It's like a perfect venue where it's not something like this, and it's not like a club, you know. And I love the whole TikToks of the grandmas at the club. I don't really want to put my grandma through that. So like, it was a perfect way where there's a reality where they never see me perform again. And like, my stepdad was there, my dad was there, my mother was there, and it's like, just knowing the background of my family, it's like the first time everybody was very much so. I was so stressed, but it's okay. But it was lovely, and it was like, this is like what music can do, and like it really, that community is incredible. And again, it's just kind of one of those things where I have the pleasure of playing festivals like this and doing shows at like Navy Pier at Excision, but I also like have had headline shows in bars with like 40 people where they pretend it's a venue and it's like not. And like those are so important too, and those people like come out of their day to come into Raleigh, North Carolina, like see you playing like a bar, and then like the promoters are so nice and friendly, and the people who like take chances on up and coming acts are so important and like need to be so appreciated, because every single thing is more important. And debatably, those smaller shows where you really get to talk to somebody, to know somebody, those relationships and like those like 5% of your like fan base stay with you forever. They stay with you through the bad EPs, the good EPs, like the different ones, and like those people are super, super important.
It is, because that's really ultimately what music is about, is just connecting and uniting people. And so it's having those times to perform at those smaller venues. It really allows you to like connect with the audience that connects with your music. It's just, words can't even justify like the beauty of that. But talking about your whole family going, oh my god, I got chills.
Yeah, it's wild.
I would be very stressed too. Like, that's a lot of family members.
It's a lot of family members.
And then having to like explain, like, okay, so like let me just prep you. This is what you're gonna see.
Yeah.
But then I could when you're playing, did you cry?
They were the first night I got very emotional, and they were really surprised too, because like I started in like very heavy dubstep. I was a resident at the Ritz in Tampa, which is like a pretty well-known club. It's like very much so one of the bigger clubs in the Florida market. My dad and my mom would come separately sometimes to see me, like especially when I finished.
Yeah.
And I think just like especially like my father seeing the growth and maybe not being as like, we don't talk all the time, like my mom's my best friend, where he was just like, whoa, I didn't expect all the singing. I didn't expect all of like the instrumentation and the choruses and like all of the new music that I work on, where it's like I'm not like sending my dad SoundCloud links, you know.
Exactly.
He's like, wow, this is like really beautiful, and like this is not what I expected. And I'm like, well, yeah, like I told you like I'm doing different shit, like so like he gets it, and he gets, you know, it was hard for him to conceptualize like the future where instruments are involved, and now he gets it. So it was a very cool thing where like if none of them see me perform again for a really long time, I think they have like an accurate representation of like where I musically exist.
Yeah. Oh, that's the
so
best. I'm so happy for you. That's such
It
a
was,
great feeling.
It was very cool. The Red Rocks I think is a dream for almost any artist.
Yeah.
And all of like the stars aligned, and like I don't think I would have gotten it if I didn't do the official remix for Griffin. And like, you know, again with like the whole drum and bass thing coming up, I've submitted drum and bass like remixes and bootlegs for so many official remixes, and they've gotten turned down. And this year everybody was like, this is fucking sick, let's go. And I'm like, okay, cool.
It just shows if you keep just going at it, it works out. Out. Well, being that the New Year's is right around the corner, do you have any New Year's resolutions?
I'm going to try and not be so hard on myself. I don't know if that's going to work, but I'm going to really try my hardest and be thankful every day for like what we've accomplished, like where we're going, not get stressed out about like the current moment, because there's always things to stress about. There's always like more. It's like, okay, I've done this, and I'm like already texting my manager. I'm like, when am I doing this again? Like, what's our plan to get back with Insomniac? Like, da-da-da. And instead of just being like, hey, you did it, chill, it's going to come when it's right. And it usually does. It really usually does. And, like, just to be kind of, like, on their radar now is just such a growth point. And again, just realizing that, like, there's so many people who would, like, want to be here and playing those stages. And, like, I have to be okay, like, Lizzy, it's okay. No, you're not going to get 20,000 people at 5 p.m. Like, that's, like, growth. Like, I'm okay with that. I have to be content.
That is really big growth. And that's so hard, too. Like, especially just being an artist and wanting to continue and grow and expand and get more people to see it. It's sometimes hard to be in the present moment. And you're thankful. You're always very grateful and thankful. But it's hard to relax and enjoy that.
That's what our industry is. Our industry is like a rat race. It's like, okay, you've done this. What's next? What's next? Exactly. Because if you don't have that what's next 6 months ago, by the time you're already where it needs to be, it's like, oh, like, is there no momentum? Is there no plan? Is there this? And it's, I don't know, moving to Denver and having like a bit more balance where like I think for the first time I'm enjoying other things besides music is like lovely, like hiking, snowboarding, stuff like that has been really healthy for me to put into perspective, like, hey, like you're just as successful if not more, and you're still doing these other things that have nothing to do with music that are like making you more of like a well-rounded person, and it's like making me more like authentic to what I'm doing instead of like, oh, like I need to do this to get on this label, or I need to do this because I'm being compared to this person. Not great.
It just keeps you true to yourself. And then the music's amazing too. So it's it's great. It all connects. Is there anything exciting to come that we should prep for 2024?
Yes. So I have the Heartbreak VIP coming out. That's cool. But I have an EP that I've worked on since COVID coming out. It's 8 tracks. I'm really excited. It's definitely like a super cohesive body of work that is very defining for the next like chapter of the project. Again, the live instruments, the singing. Heartbreak was a little like teaser, but this definitely goes way more into it, and I think it's just, we found a great home for it. It's like with an indie electronic label, like something that's just really focused on the music. And that's what I wanted.
Exactly.
Like, you know, we live in an age where, like, the DJs, it's like, put on a marshmallow hat, I could put on a pickle suit. Like, it's like, it's like a marketing thing, but, like, still, like, you're not doing any of that if the music's not there. Exactly. So I wanted to find that balance, and I found, like, a lovely home for it, and I'm glad I waited. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, I have the EP coming out in the spring, I have another EP coming out in July, and then I have a handful of, like, singles and, like, really big remixes that are gonna go somewhere.
Oh my
god! So the remixes will be cool because those will come out on labels when those packs come out. Yeah. But I have, like, singles that I'm really amped up for, and I'm like, this may, like, not come out till, like, 2025.
What are some great tips you can share about safety at EDM events for both men and women?
Ooh, I feel like it's like the whole, like, see something, say something thing. Like, I even see it when I'm, like, traveling, just because, like, you never know. Like, and I travel so much. Like, sometimes I'll see, like, girls, or sometimes I'll see, like, kind of, like, you know, it's never my business to be in anyone else's business, but I'll just see, like, situations, and it's just like, hey, like, are you okay? Like, just, like, ask, because I don't think anyone's ever gonna be upset for you going up to them and saying, hey, like, I just want to make sure you're good, because on the off chance, on the 1 out of 100%, your 100th, you know, faction that something is wrong, like, you could have really prevented something for being, like, a disaster. Yeah, and I think, you know, still, I haven't been to too many I don't go to too many festivals now, and, like, I'm definitely gonna walk around after this, and, like, when I play, I go and I enjoy it for sure. You know, people can really be wrapped up in their own world, and I think just, like, I'm not sober, I'm drinking a lovely drink right now, but you know, when I'm here, I really do. It's a line of work, and, like, you want to hold yourself well. Like, I really care about the people who surround me, and, like, everyone that's on my team, like, needs to be watching out for people. It's, like, at the shows, at everything, and it goes back even to, like, you can't choose your fans either. And I think that, like, I've created such a lovely community of people that really watch out for each other. That's not always the case, and that's okay. But, like, in those situations, even if you're a support act or you're doing something, like, I see so many artists stop shows all the time. Hey, is everything okay? Like, fight, you know, somebody's passed out. Like, it's more than just, like, a girl, hey, are you okay? Like, it can be anything that goes on, and as artists, we have such a platform. It's like, again, for artists, see something, say something. Don't ignore it, because no one's going to get mad at you. No production, Insomniac, nobody's going to be like, why'd you stop your set? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, you really, especially in this day and age where there's just so much stuff floating around, like, you really can save somebody from it being, like, a disaster.
Yeah. No, it's really true, and that's something that we talk about all the time as well. Like, if you see something, say something.
That's all it is.
Because you never know, and, like, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to ask and to check in, and, I mean, there's definitely been a couple of sets that we've been at, too, where...
I can't imagine.
The artist says something, and it makes a big difference, because then it gets everybody in the crowd involved in it, and then everybody's trying to help.
Somebody gets out way quicker. You get ambulances to them way quicker. Like, and you can see, you know, there's times where, like, if I'm not, like, feeling energy from the crowd, like, I try and look out and above. But, like, as an artist, like, you can see if something's happening. I get it. Like, maybe not if there's, like, 30,000 people, but those are rare occurrences. If you're in a club, if you're in a music venue, like, you see if some shit's going down. And, like, I love, like Grizz's team. There's a lot of teams that have implemented, whether it's, like, stuff with Narcan, or it's having stuff in the venues that they won't play venues unless people are certified. Like, that's all very cool. Like, I wish that wasn't a reality. Like, I wish that didn't have to be a thing, but, like, it does. And that's, like, instead of ignoring it, you want to say something. Like, Dance Safe, like, all of those guys are so important, and they don't get, like, they don't get, like, the recognition they really deserve. And, like, it's really cool that, like, Insomniac has allowed them to exist, because there's a lot of companies out there that will not have them on the grounds, because then it's under the implementation that people are doing substances.
Exactly. It's acknowledging the fact that people are, instead of...
And that's just turning a blind eye, and you rather have someone die on your property than be proactive.
Exactly. Absolutely. Well, what is Lizzy Jane's message as a female vocalist, producer, instrumentalist, and DJ/artist and everything? I feel like we've learned so much, but I really want to know, what is your message?
Finding what you really love doing, because there's going to be so many no's and so many, like, sacrifices, turmoils, shit that, like, just doesn't go your way. If you don't enjoy what you're making, it's going to become, like, a really miserable process. So I think it's just, like, being really authentic to yourself and realizing that, like, you can't please everyone. You're not going to make everyone happy. And, like, the less that you kind of have the fortitude to care about those other things, the better. Yeah. And I think that's, like, my thing. And, like, with my project, especially, again, like, heartbreak, moving into the next chapter, just, like, saying, like, hey, if you want to do your own thing, like, yes, it's the road less traveled. Yes, it's more difficult. But, like, you will be around longer and you will be happier for it. 100%.
Yeah, that's so true. The comparison thing is really difficult.
Especially as a girl. Especially.
Yeah.
I'm, like, looking at videos of my hair in the last interview I did, and I'm just like, oh, da-da-da. And, like, I need to just stop and just be like, stop,
Yeah.
because it's your mind.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, well, like, I don't look as good as this person, or, oh, this could have been better. Oh, this. And it's good to have those, because I do think it pushes you forward. It does.
But there's a point where it's too
There's
much.
a fine line.
Yeah.
Because you can spiral. And I've spiraled. I've 100% spiraled.
It's spiral. That's the word.
Yeah.
It really is.
Boys aren't thinking about shit like this. It's okay.
Exactly.
Like, just put yourself in a man's, like, body and just, like, keep moving forward.
Yes.
But it goes back again to, like, you know, the women have a lot more to deal with than the guys a lot. Whether it's, like, their craft being questioned, are they ghost produced for, are they, you know, do they make their own music, you know, are they just getting booked because they're hot, is like okay, nobody's asking that about fucking John Summit.
I know.
like it's but it's like the double standard. But with more women coming up on this side, I do think it's getting better. But girls are just also harsher on themselves. I think females just have this very high expectation. Yep.
Yeah, I do too. I think it starts as a kid. Yeah. It all starts from, like, some little incident that happens as a kid and the playground. Like, it's true. Well, would you like to give any special shout-outs at this time?
Ooh. I'm a lot to deal with a lot of the times. I finally found, like, a lovely, like, team. Like, my manager, like, is phenomenal. There's a lot of people in, you know, the, like, I think music industry as a whole, not just electronic dance music, it's, like, this really pretty upper belly that a lot of fans, like, you know, you see your best moments on social media. You see the big festivals you're playing. You see this and this and that. And then there's this, like, really dark underbelly that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And there's, like, some not so great people, just like in anything that you'll do. And I've made mistakes. I've worked with not great people who have had not the right intentions. And, like, now I think in this past year, for the first time, I'm like, everyone around me is, like, representing who I feel like I am and, like, who my project is, and everybody's got, like, a really good head on their shoulders. Like, I, like, just like Insomniac, like, runs a really tight ship. Like, that's how I want the people around me to be, and because they're a representation of, like, who I am. So they're all lovely. Like, Jess helped today. She's great. Like, I travel a lot alone because a lot of times I'm not doing stuff like this, so I don't need someone, but like, made my experience so much better. Just, like, when somebody comes in ready to work and, like, just there as a friend, but also there and, like, taking care of stuff so you can focus on your set, focus on the music, do whatever, tape your jacket when your bodysuit breaks. Stuff like that, like, means a lot, because if that was not happening, I would have been in big trouble. And then, you know, my significant other has nothing to do with music, but is also, like, incredibly intelligent and educated and, like, very supportive. My family's really supportive. Like, they're lovely as well, and, like, they've watched from a distance, but again, it's like, I've been doing music my whole life, so to, like, see stuff come to fruition. When I graduated high school, I was like, oh, like, I have to grow up, like, I have to, like I'm going to study politics, I'm going to, like, work on the Hill, like, it's going to be great. And then year one, I was just like, nope. It
was not a phase.
It was not a phase. And I was like, wow, like, people actually do this. Like, I used to literally think festivals popped out of a box, like, you know, you, like, open one of those boxes and then the festival's there, and then you realize that it just employs so many people, and there's so many things that have to happen in order for things to go smoothly. Everybody from the artist to, like, security and, like, the guys like scanning people at the gate. Like,
it's a whole city.
Yep.
It's like a whole mini city that does a pop-up temporarily. I completely agree.
Yeah.
It's intricate. Wow, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
And as a thank you, I'd love to trade some candy with you, the RaveTalks Plur style.
Yes. Okay, how do we do this?
Okay. So it's peace,
love. I know this much. There we go. Love it. Thank you. Too cute.
Yes.
I love it. So cute. Thank you very much. It was lovely speaking with you. It's always nice, like, other women pushing stuff forward. That's the only way it's going to be like.
I know,
heard,
right?
really
It's so
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
And as always, everyone, please check out this exclusive interview on our RaveTalks podcast. We want to personally thank you, Lizzy Jane, for this special interview and taking the time to acknowledge our mission in Plur. And just, we can't wait to hear more from you in 2024 and all these different EPs and singles.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
I'm excited. Now I'm just like, I get to let it go. Like, just let it go. And then, like, it frees me to, like, create more stuff. Because I'm not, like, going back and, like, oh, I'm going to tweak this. I'm going to re-record this. I'm going to retrack this. Like, it's, like, out there.
It's done.
Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.
It's done.
Yeah.
It's sent. Full sent.
Full send. Love it.
That's
Thank
great.
you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.